Wake up everyone, it's Monday morning here at Muscle in the Morning, and I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, July 2nd, 2018. And let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. One of the hardest things to do in sports and business is trying to climb your way back up to the top after you've already been there. And come next weekend, we'll all get a chance to see if Swanson is ready to climb back up to the top when she makes her season debut at the Chicago Pro. Remember, it was only 2 years ago that we saw her come in to this very same arena and come out with a win after putting together what might have been the best look of her career. Even if it's been a while since we've seen her hit that peak, at the end of the day, Swanson is one of the only few women ever to call herself a Fitness International champion. And when you've got that sort of round sitting in your chamber, you're never really more than one show away from putting it out again and reclaiming what's rightfully yours. You can look like a boss, you can talk like a boss, but at the end of the day, if you aren't out there putting in the work, then you really can't call yourself a boss. And just in case you aren't sure, let me make this abundantly clear for you. Jessica Reyes Padilla is most certainly a boss. Over the weekend, the figure star released a clip from one of her latest shoulder training sessions where she gives her fans a sneak peek at what kind of boss moves she's been pulling behind the scenes in this latest Olympia prep. For all intents and purposes, JRP is in the midst of having one of the best seasons of her entire career. And if she stays in this groove, she has a legitimate shot to be one of the real surprises of the Olympia weekend when it's all said and done. Saturday night, somebody tried to convince me to watch the new Thor movie on Netflix, but because I have no time to even tie my shoes, I figured it was probably a better idea to just whip out my phone and stalk Patrick Moore's Instagram feed instead. The former USA Super Heavyweight champ has been absolutely killing it in the gym over the last month or so, which tells me that he's doing his due diligence to get his improvement season off to a good start. Even though he didn't quite get the placing he wanted in his debut at the New York Pro back in May, you can see that this guy has a ton of raw talent to work with already. And as long as he's willing to keep working on his craft, it'll pay dividends a few years from now when we see him seriously starting to compete for some major titles. Now that sports betting is legal, it's important to remember one thing for all you wannabe degenerate gamblers out there. You never win money betting on the favorites. And if I was in the market for a value bet at this Olympia weekend, I might think about putting down a friendly wager on women's physique superstar Dani Castillo. A few weeks after her huge win at the Toronto Pro, where she was completely dominant from wire to wire, one of the most underappreciated stars in the division doesn't look like she's missed a beat. When she's firing on all cylinders, Dani Castillo can be an absolute force of nature. So if she can get herself in the right groove, she's more than capable of making it to the first call out, where all of a sudden she becomes a whole lot more dangerous. Listen, take it from someone who's been a bridesmaid more times than I'd care to remember. When you're up there on that bodybuilding stage, there's no more bittersweet feeling in the world than the moment you hear your name announced in second place. But when you're literally only a few points away from winning one of the biggest shows on the calendar in back-to-back seasons, I can only begin to imagine how figure icon Wendy Fortino must be feeling right now. A little more than a week away from trying to shake her second place curse on the Chicago Pro stage, Fortino and her team seem like they're heading into the weekend pretty damn confident about what they're bringing to the table this year. To her credit, Fortino's proven on more than one occasion that she's about as tough as they come in the division. So if this finally ends up being her year, I can all but guarantee you that she'll look back on this win as being the sweetest one in her entire career. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.